ole thlir tu te chipai ule hei tun huna hian Inleng tuam tak mai kan neya hei kabula hianin mingpum asei dua Reverend Dr. V di mai la ani he General Secretary ani Asia Pacific Baptist Federation chuan anupui omboka anupui po hi pastor tho ani theologian ani anni NUPAA he tun chuma hian Mizoram Baptist Kohhran te minon tloin hetilai hmun andon kalani hundrem chang nain anni NUPAA den hianin heteng in kom hona hun thatak mai hi kan nei dona amai ro chu mizo tung an thiam lo awangin sap tungin hetiang hianin English interview ka kan nei dona ni akar lak lo kan interview lo hianin kan interview jis angate kha mizo tunga ron talan ro chu katum dona ne. Thank you so much for giving your time, and this time I would like to welcome you to this studio communication department, and I'm very happy that you can spare your valuable time to have a very brief introductions about your ministry. Even though I gave the viewers a short introduction about who you are, and to introduce yourself, a little bit detail about yourself, your ethnic background, or what exactly you are doing now, and your wife, and you see the engagement you have, so those personal background. So according to your convenience, I would like to request you to give yourself a little more detail about yourself. Yes.
Thank you very much, Chuan, for this opportunity to come. My wife and we are from Okinawa. I'm originally from Nagaland. Before I go into any detail, I will give the chance to my wife to introduce herself. I think that would be nice.
May I introduce my name first? Okay, my name is Ai. Spelled AI. But well, nowadays people think that AI is like Android, but I'm real human. Anyway, Ai means love in Japanese.
Oh, that's a very good name.
Yes. Well, I'm from Okinawa, Japan. Yes, and then I'm a wife of Vasekhoyi Vee Tetseo, who is the GS of the Asia Pacific Baptist Federation. And then I'm a mother of 3 boys. Eldest is Levito. He is 20. He'll be 20.
21.
He's now 21. He'll turn 22 this year. He's studying in Tokyo Christian University, taking the what was that? International global studies. Yeah, global studies. But he's hoping that he wants to involve in the overseas missions, so he's taking that course. And the second son is Kozo, and he's studying in a college, taking the law major. And then the third one is Setsuri. He's 17, and the last year in the high school, and he's doing dance. And then also he wants to be in fine art college next year, so he's studying hard. Yes, I myself, I'm a pastor, ordained pastor, minister. Yes, and since 2011. Yes, 11. I was ordained by Okinawa Baptist Convention, and then right now I'm the pastor of Alone 318 Community Church, and then also I involved with my convention as the education director. Yeah, and then also I have a mission group called Mission Navi, which does the overseas mission. Yes.
Maybe just a little bit of explanation on Alone.
Oh, yeah. Our church name is Alone 318, but it's not coming from the brother of Moses. Actually, Alone is the Hebrew terms of the terebinth tree, and then it appears in Genesis 14 and chapter 14 and verse 14, and then which Abraham rescued Lot's family from those 4 kings, right? And then in that the verse, this 318, his servant, faithful servant, appears, and then when the Lot and then the family was taken to this, the kings, and then they under the Abraham's order, they went to rescue. So our vision is to train our people to be faithful to the Word of God, and then go and then rescue the parish. Yeah, under
that is the main mission.
Yes. That's the meaning of our church name. Yeah.
Okay, let me make a little, brief explanation in Mijo. What you already said. Ka tikanin hey ani he Reverend Dr. V he Naga community ania. So nanu hi Japanese ania. Aming po amoy kop may ai tikania aming he. Then ka aso yang kan fa pathuman neya MIPA thlir pathuman neya an puitling thokat view to university ya te tiang chonin zirmek law zirlai te tin engani international relation global katiang thil pui mo zir an ni ministry ala lutum rongbona la lutum te pon ni te kan triatin ama hi pastor ania ordained minister ania tin ministry pui mo tak mayaron team ministry ya khanin engani INHMANG ani ti ka so ya kha khana tumber chu chhawpchhuak ngai te tanpui ngai te tanpui khatiang anga engani ama INHMANG na puina rongbona ni puina kha organization ina atum khania chu tiang chon ani ero hi chu Asia Pacific Baptist Federation khanin general secretary ani ani rongbona kha rongbona sanani ti kha lo theta ila athome Reverend V, so if you want to add more introductions.
I studied in Kohhran at Kohhran Baptist College, where I did my bachelor's degree.
Right.
And then after that, I went to do my further studies in the Philippines, at the Philippine Baptist Theological Seminary. I did my master's in church music, in voice major and conducting.
Very interesting.
But I don't do that anymore. Yeah. But of course, music was something that I really loved to do.
Right.
So during my high school days, I used to be in a rock band. I've gone all the way to Ukrul to do concerts when I was 16 years old. And so I used to live my life like that. And so I went to Philippines to study. After I did my master's, then I joined a church there as a music pastor and music minister and youth pastor. Then I was serving there. That's when I met my wife also.
I also joined the seminary
Yeah,
during that
she
time.
came to join the seminary
Philippines.
in the Philippines.
Yes.
Yes, and so she was there. I had already finished my master's. I graduated, and I was supposed to return. But something happened, very special happened. Just before I returned and I was going to go, I went to the office to tell the office manager to buy my tickets for my return tickets. I did not have any money at all, but I thought, okay, I will go and tell her because I've graduated. But when I went there, the manager said, "Oh, Brother V, you know what? I forgot to tell you. You got 2-year visa to stay in the Philippines. Normally, people don't get 2-year visa, only 1-year visa, but you got 2 years. It will be such a loss if you leave." And that's how I joined a church, and then I served there. Then after I did my master's, then I got an opportunity to do doctoral degree. So I enrolled in a doctoral degree in Asia Baptist Graduate School of Theology. And then I did my doctoral degree on worship studies. And so that's how I finished my doctor. And in that process, of course, like I said, I met her. And 6 months later, I asked for marriage. Then I went to Okinawa to meet her parents and then asked for marriage. And
So Mrs. Ai, her parents also from a Christian background.
Yes.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah. It's very rare actually in Japan. Yeah.
Because I wonder, since you are from, Japanese community, so whether your parents are Christian or non-Christian. So that's very good. Yes.
Yes. Actually, my father was serving as the postal office manager. Yeah, for how many years? 30, 40 years. But he received call and then quit job. He did early retirement when he was 50, and then went to the theological study and then started the church planting.
All right.
So he served just 15 years. 20 years. But my father was also pastor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good. Oh, kati kanin ani Reverend Dr. V kan hansai ani hi Kohima tiang kan zirna te nin azir chawzela tin Philippines pathian thu zirin akala chuta chuan in hian nu nen hian in anan in tonga an nu po hi van nei thak tak min Christian ange ni Christian chung kwa apa po pastor ani a khatiang khanin pathian rem ruat te po aniang anin chara tin hey Reverend V po de khanin Philippines a doctorate degree thleng ti khanin zir chho zelin oma tiang chuanin Kohhran arong bolna an lu chhota winnia chuanin tiang hianin rong bol tu duom tak mai kha an lo ni chhota ni ti kha an lo rela taila thome. And now about Asia Pacific Baptist Federation. And before you became a general secretary, I also know that you are also, I mean, very much part of APBF, looking after the youth wing. So how you enter this ministry? I mean, Asia Pacific Baptist under Asia Pacific Baptist Federations. So how you make yourself connected with this, and now you are general secretary, looking after the whole Asia Pacific Baptist Federation.
My first introduction to the Asia Pacific Baptist, well, in the past it was not called Asia Pacific, it was called Asia Baptist Federation. It was 1991. There was a youth conference in Calcutta. I was still a college student, first year college. I think it was first year college. Yes, I think it is. And so in Calcutta we had a conference, and so I went there to attend the conference with my church friends. We had a church band, and so we went and we took part as a worship team. I was into music, and so I got involved like that. But after that, I went to the seminary. So for a long time, I was not part of the Asia Pacific Baptist. Then after I went to Okinawa, and then we got married, and then we started our family, and that was 2009. The president, who was the youth president, was my friend.
Right.
So he asked me to come and then bring my band and then lead worship. So I said, okay, sure, we will go, and then we led worship. We led worship, and we had a four-day conference. On the third day, they invited me. They said they want to talk to me. I said, okay, sure. And then we went and we talked. And in the conversation, as we talked, they said, we have been looking for somebody to become the youth president. Then would you be willing to be the youth president? And I've been involved with the youths in Nagaland also, and then I've been involved with the youths in the Philippines also. And and my friend knew about all these things, and so maybe that became very natural for him to ask me. And then I asked my wife, I called my wife when I was in Hong Kong, and then I said, they are asking me to be the youth president. What do you think? Then she said, well, if God is calling you, then it's up to you. So I went back to my friends, and then I said, okay. And so I became the youth president in December of 2009. But it's basically like 2010. Then I served as a president for the youths of Asia Pacific Baptist for 7 years. Meanwhile, I served as the vice president or regional president for Baptist World Youth. As a regional president, going to BWA Youth as vice president. So I served as youth for until 2017. Then I thought I will stop that, and then I will go into another ministry. But God had a different plan, and then I got involved as the general secretary from 2017.
Right. Kati kana hansoya Reverend V he thalai te zinga Nagaland ate tin Philippines ate anjir cholai khanin INHMANG thina chuti lai chonin ama hi musician thatak mai ani a band te po an ne ya tiang chuan full time a khatianga la INHMANG a federation le organization la lut khani lo ma sela an hun tamjok kha ministry a youth ministry a thalai te zinga INHMANG thina chuan asoyang khan thian pa hi Asia Pacific Baptist Youth thalai president ani a chuta chun an ban a kha an thalai in khom puya zai shuai turin an soma tiang chuan ani in ala wia sa zai shuai tura an han hunan mang le zai shuai hun man vela khanin ama thalai ji nga loin mang thang ani bok nen khan somna adong ta a thian pa president ani nuwa president ron ni ve tur khanin an soma anu puirona tiang chuanin tiang khan pathian kawmna le pathian rong bol na an chunjom na zel tu nia nga in president thalai te jing ani chhota tiang chuanin kumsari lai thalai president ani nuwa ama soidana kha chuanin mun nang ministry dang te po rong bol dang te po kan lu tang ti kan ril ru kan lo suang tu mek lain tiang hianin sani le som le pasari atang khanin general secretary ya tiang hianin kan om vele ta voin ni hi kian kan ani chhota ni atini chu. Okay, thank you so much for your introductions and a very interesting story. So now about Asia Pacific Baptist Federation. So we, the Baptist Church members, Mizoram Baptist Church of Mizoram, there are many people who are not yet familiar with this Asia Pacific Baptist Federation, and even the name also, as you said, that many people may also still think that Asia Baptist Federation. So before becoming Asia Pacific Baptist Federation. So I would like to request you to explain what is exactly Asia Pacific Baptist Federation is under this federation. How many Baptist families are coming together, and what are the missions, what are the things that Asia Pacific Baptist Federation is doing right now? So see, according to your convenience, so if you can, I mean, to go deal about APBF.
Okay. There's plenty, so I'll try to just make it as short as I can. When APBF, that was ABF, when it was founded in 1972, the founders, there were about 18 countries that came together in Hong Kong. We had like Australia, Singapore, India, and during that time even China, and countries like that, Sri Lanka, and then I think Myanmar also, which was known as Burma, I think, yes. So they came together to form a body of Baptists. Prior to that, there were 12 young people in 1953. They met in Argentina. So these Asians, some of the Asians went to Argentina to attend the Baptist World Congress, and Billy Graham was a speaker during that time. So when they met each other, they felt the desire, the need to come together as a Baptist body. So that is when it all started. In 1972, they became founded as Asia Baptist Fellowship. During that time, Australia and the New Zealand people felt like, well, you know, they are from the Pacific, they are Oceania group, but we don't want to use that word. We want to be really the Asia, part of Asia. So they decided with Asia Baptist Federation, and then in 1975 there was a conference in Congress of Baptist World Alliance in Stockholm in Sweden. So during that time, they all went together as a Asia Baptist Fellowship, and then they applied to the Baptist World Alliance. And well, I mean, work was being done even before that, and so in 1975, the Asia Baptist Federation became part of the regional body of the Baptist World Alliance, and so we became part of that. Now to APBF, why Pacific? In 2006. As the Asia Baptist began to grow, we were already about, during that time, I'm not very sure, but if I remember correctly, there was 55 conventions from these countries, 18 countries, or maybe even more. They were already becoming very big. So in 2006, countries like Fiji, which is really outside part of the Pacific, and then Vanuatu, which is also a very tiny island in the really inside of the Pacific. They all wanted to become part of the body. So when we look at the body of the Asia, then these people are all really Pacific, from the Pacific Islanders, and to become more inclusive, the leaders felt Like now we are many Asia Pacific people from Pacific also part of the body here. We want to include them as really Pacific people coming into together as a body. So that gives them identification also. So the executive met in 2006 or 7, I think it's 2007 in Chiang Mai, and so in Thailand, and that's when the Pacific word was added to become more inclusive of the islands like Fiji and then Vanuatu and Solomon Islands and all those parts. Although the Solomon Island is still not part of APBF, they are wanting to become part of APBF. So now we are, APBF is spread in 22 countries, all over Asia Pacific, 22 countries. We have some few countries which are still not part. Mongolia is not yet part, but Mongolia will become part of APBF very soon. And we have grown to 65 conventions. So India is has the largest convention. I think we have got about 18 conventions who are, 16 conventions who are part of APBF. We're really big. Then we have about 40,000 churches in the Asia Pacific who are part of the body of the APBF. And Baptist Church of Mizoram is one of the conventions who are very integral part of APBF. So that's, in summary, that's who we are.
Thank you so much. So yeah, Asia Pacific Baptist Federation ni atira. Chuan Pacific ti telewin Asia Baptist Federation ti kan ya sanga jugo som seri so adina ni in atira chuan in Baptist World Alliance noya omchi alawa ma se hun local zela Baptist World Alliance family at lu chawin atira association lian lutuk lawa khatuna chuanin ram somni le pani tiang chuanin hei convention ringo tapo kha Baptist convention kan ti hei Baptist Church of Mizoram kan han tiang chi kha convention ringo tapo kha somruk chuang kha lo om to in tin local church kan tiang chi a phe kha chu singli chuang hemi Asia Pacific Baptist Federation nuai hen om to ni tiang chuanin he Paul a hi hemi Asia Pacific huam chung mun sang ram sanga Baptist unaw te Baptist Kohhran ho in lom kawmna in engeni in khai kawmna Paul poi mo tak mai ni in tin he ta akal le zela po Baptist World Alliance noya kan in thlung zelin he Asia Pacific Baptist Federation noya hian in India ramatang hian in he convention kha omnuala ti asom paruk lai Mizoram atang ringat poin Baptist Church of Mizoram kan han tiang te lai ram Isu Krista Baptist Kohhran kan han tiang chi ka khang ti ang convention kha India ram atang hian in ram khata tang chona tamber pola ni ati ya som paruk vel kha ati ya. Okay, now we will enter into the the things what APBF is doing, the missions and the visions, and what exactly is Asia Pacific Baptist Federation is doing. As we all know, okay, this is a Baptist family coming together. So together, what we are doing. So,
okay, that's a good question. What do we do as APBF? We have a vision called Baptists Together, transforming lives in Christ across the Asia Pacific. And that's our desire. As Baptists, we work together to bring transformation of lives through Christ across the Asia Pacific. So we are very mission-minded. And our desire is that there will be transformation of hearts, of lives, and then of livelihood. And so our whole purpose is really that there will be a holistic transformation of people, and not only in the churches, but also in the lives of the people in the community. So that is what we do as APBF, as a Baptist, transforming Baptists together, transforming lives in Christ across the Asia Pacific. Now we have, of course, several ministries that we do. We have a very active ministry called the Asia Pacific Baptist Aid. So we call it APB Aid, and we do a humanitarian acts. We do disaster relief. We do advocacy, and so. As you know, Asia Pacific always goes through so many disasters. Every year, there's plenty of disasters.
Even right now, also the cyclone is.
Cyclone is one.
Yes.
then, of course, human-made disasters. For example, very sad to say, but the human tragedy of Manipur, and then, or even Myanmar, the military coup in Myanmar. So these are some of the tragedies that happens, which the APB aid is the one who extends our help to those people who are in need. So where there is disaster, then we do our best to appeal for funds from all over the world, that they will send funds to APB aid. And then we will also, because, for example, take for example Philippines. Philippines goes through so many typhoons every year. There's so many destructions every year. And when there's a destruction, this time we are having the Mocha storm, but vegetable, rice fields, houses, floodings, and all those kind of things happens. Then we need a very quick relief for people, first aid response and all this, right? And so we empower our conventions to be able to meet the needs of the community. Of course, we give our care to our own Baptist family, but we also do not just do that. Any people, anyone who has been affected by disasters, whether there's Muslim or Hindus or whoever, we go out and reach out to them. And we display the love of Christ through our giving, through our humanitarian aid and things like that. That is what we do with aid. Then we have our missions. Missions is another very active one. On the aid, we have Mr. Roshan Mendes, who is our director of. So he's one of my staff, and he's the director of APB Aid. Then on the missions, maybe I should say we call it ministries.
Right.
Yeah, some people call it department maybe, but we want to use the word ministries because we are ministering to people, and we are all servants.
Right.
And we are all servants, and that is a ministry of the APBF. So our desire as APBF missions is that the gospel will be preached or will be reached out to the unreached people's group, unreached, unengaged people's group in the world. And mostly, if you see the 1040 window, then Asia is the most unreached, unengaged people group. Japan is, of course, one of the unreached people group. It's not unengaged, but unreached people's group. And so our desire is that we will be able to network with conventions, and then we will empower our conventions through networking, and then we will help the conventions. For example, we have all the data informations of these groups in the APBF missions. Then we introduce, okay, there's this need here, there's this need here.
Right.
This is what you can do, this is what you can do. Okay, this is a group of conventions who have resources. This group doesn't have resources, but they have manpower. So we help each other, and then we send missionaries.
What you're doing is like a kind of coordinating those various conventions.
Yes, various conventions. And so APBF missions is not a sending body, but we coordinate, and then we help and we empower our conventions to do it.
That's very good.
And then we have, of course, youth. The youth ministry is also a very active youth ministry. We will be having a youth conference next year in Malacca, in Malaysia. But this is a youth ministry that conference is just once in 5 years. But the youth also do the empowering emerging leaders training. Discipleship training is very important for us. And so we invite all our youth leaders, youth secretaries to come, and then we go through this kind of training. And we invite the youth departments of each convention. They have the right to exercise the plans that we are introducing in their own churches or conventions. They may do, they may not, but we encourage that this is something that we feel that is going to be instrumental and that's significant in the growth of our young people. And so we offer those kind of the training. We have a very important training called the Catalyst, which is the emerging leaders training. So we select young people from each convention, and then they go through a 7 modules training each year. And then this is to empower the youth of our body. And then we do have women, but Asia Baptist Women's Union is an affiliate body. It's a separate organization, so they are the one who takes care of the women ministries. We have the Baptist Women of the Pacific, who are part of the APBF, and so they are the ones who does the women ministry in the Pacific region. So these are some and theological education, yes, is something that we do, with seminars, with training, with forums, and then with trainings for pastors. We have several things that is coming in, of course. But in general, that's what we do.
Thank you so much. Ka soya tikanin Asia Pacific Baptist Federation ina athil ti tlang puye teka athale meya athu together we transform lives. Ti tak me ka ahu howin Baptist chung kwa sang kalkhom Asia Pacific Baptist Federation kalkhom hianin ahu howin tikanin nunna kan engeni mi tanpui ngai te kan tanpuya nun na thak khengai kan thak khenga nun thar kan siam saka chumi ti tur chuanin tongbola peng sang sang kha ron soya ama sabera chuanin ron soya kha Asia Pacific Baptist 8 APBF ti khania khata khanin Kohhran Paul bi gom lawin heng chiat na chi sang khorel chiat na lo thlenga ni emo tin mihring te chi le chi inkar in ti boina tuna po kan unaw ten khitilaya Manipur boina harsatna Chile chin kara thleng meka hetiang ang kara te khang khanin na satekin na thok thina tia chiat na lo thlenga te tuilian ani emo khang tia ang lir nginga wanga chiat na lon thlenga te tanpuine po ka sem thina henga te po Kohhran Paul bi om lo pi mai ba ka sa khwa Christian sa khwa chau lo po sa kho danga effect ho zong zong khanin tanpuina kha he APBF thian in ape thina ni ti kha tin heng refugee kan han tiang chi ral tlan kan han tiang a chi te po kha na satekin the pato pin ngai sak thina he Asia Pacific Baptist 8 at chemical tlang hian in tanpuina kha tiang chonin tanpui ngai te tanpui thina ni tin don le a chonin mission and evangelism kha oma anti dan ka thariau me kha ron soya kha missionary APBF hian missionary atir lo missionary a ruai lawa full time in missionary tira ka tiang khana tilawa amaro chu convention Baptist Paul sang local khom ho kha khang ho kha nin nangni Paul hi hetilai hianin ha in thok them nangni hianin hemi hi in ti them khami mission Paul sang Baptist theu ni si convention sang kal khoma khanin ruap man na nei pui thina ti khanin thuron te pe thina khang tiang khanin mission and evangelism khanin khakati berania tin committee oma chu committee a chuanin khang Baptist family Paul sang kal khoma kha hei tuna chuanin presently in hei kan AGS mission secretary Reverend Dr. Altan Moya po mission and evangelism committee a khanin khata khane omve ani po khalai khanin thilrel poimo tak nei te pena telve thini tin thalai pol om le hei thalai pol hi poimo khop me Asia Pacific Baptist youth khami a kha hina kum loka hianin Malaysia in khom pui te po khom don ani kan zaipol te po kan ti thina BCM atangin kan thalai te po khom puya an kal thina Hong Kong ate po nei thina ni ka tiang chonin he thalai po le hi pol chak tak me ni ama po he thalai po la president te po lo ni to thin kha ni ya voin ni he lai thalai po la po BCM atangin vice president jing mi te po kha kan Kohhran member te kan han ni vele he jakopa kan thrianga kop te tiang chonin he thalai pol hianin nasatak main thalai ten pathian an lo naya pathian rong bol na kong an zo theina turata na ken pen theina tura kong ko hmuh te khatian kan thala in khom puya hianin thalai te buatsaih na kha thok thina chumi piala ma chuanin heta thalai pol a full time work kan han tiang chi ho te khanin he angram sang Asia Pacific Baptist noya thalai pol sang kha hui khomin activities te po kha tin ro re lang chi te po khom ve thene tin theological education han ti kha mi Asia Pacific Baptist no hianin pathian thu lampanga zirna ministry arong bola pakhat kha ania chuta chuanin theological college kha nei chuang lawa amera chu APBF noya Kohhran Paul sang theological college ate kan website apo kan en chuanin khang anga khanin hemikan theological college te ram sang atanga in zirpol a in kal thela zirna om thena turata na engeni ruam man na siam tu te aloni a APBF tin colloquium kan han ti te seminar kan han ti kal khom theological college sang zirtir tu an ni emo theologian hemi APBF noya theologian tre lo tak an ni emo khang hote ko min seminar te poka buatsaih thene ni ron ti poka ten nu ho bi ka hi chu anga ni chak takal ala ni lewa amaro chu hemi nu ho pol a hi Paul san pa tho si in le hemi Asia Pacific Baptist noya po hianin a committee pakhat kha chu vein amai ro chu adang zong te anga chak takal kha chu ani ri lova kha po khati chak chho mek zelani ti te han soi bok a tiang chuan he Asia Pacific Baptist Federation waya hianin rong bol na peng chi sang a thua kha aron soya ti han Baptist family kan nia ke ni po kan tela he APBF rong bol na hianin kan tel vekani ti ka thar le ta ila chanpui ngai te chanpui thina tin rong bol na khovel ram ina chanchin tra ala thlen phak lo a thlen theina turin mission and evangelism committee mangkhanin ma la thin boka atakin missionary APBF heven tir lo ma sela mission agency sang APBF noi ho kha tiang khanin engeni ruam man na siam puya engeni ako mu thin ni ti kha lo thai la thome. Thank you so much for about what APBF is really doing. And now you came to Mizoram, so tomorrow also I think your schedule is to visit refugee camp, I believe. What is your purpose of coming and your purpose of visit Mizoram, particularly Baptist Church of Mizoram?
Well, thank you. Mizoram, Baptist Church of Mizoram has been one of the very strong supporter of APBF. Not just by giving, but also by participation. Baptist Church of Mizoram has always been as famous as they are in the world with the best choirs. Singing is just lovely, and we are always grateful to the Baptist Church of Mizoram sending the choir to the Congress also, even to the youth conferences also. So we are grateful for that. When I met with our General Secretary, Biakliana, and then Maruata in Birmingham last year. We spent some time together, and then we also talked about what we can do as a APBF and then Baptist Church of Mizoram in partnership, as of course as a convention who is a member of APBF. How can we strengthen our work together? So I was invited to come and see BCM, which I was very, very happy and then very privileged to come here. It was my honor. But I also wanted to also see an opportunity to bring together to my wife and we coming together. This is the second time for her to come to the Northeast. I'm going to let her also speak to that because this is something, a good experience for my wife also. And so we decided to come together. And then, so the purpose is really to come and then meet with our BCM leaders, what BCM is doing. And so like today, we are sitting here, and this is one part of the ministry that you're doing. It's so wonderful to sit here and then to share this with our viewers. But we want to strengthen our partnership. That is one. Then we also wanted to see the work of what the BCM is doing also. When we started to hear about the bombings of the Sagaing province in Myanmar, and then refugees coming in, running out from Myanmar, I called out a meeting of Zoom of some leaders in the Northeast, and then I said, these are our brothers who have escaped from Myanmar, and I'm sure you are planning to do something, but how can we help each other? And so we started to work on that. BCM also made some projects, and then LIRAM also made some projects, and then APB Aid, which is our humanitarian arm of APBF, also started to draw some funds and then provide. CBCNEI, the Council of Northeast Baptist Churches of Northeast India, also gathered together some conventions and they started to draw some funds and then provide, because BCM is already doing a lot. LIRAM is doing a lot, and so we want to come in and support. And my wife, as she has said, she has organization called Mission Navi, and in Okinawa, although we cannot really do very, very big as big organizations like that, but even if in a small way, they have been really supporting the need. So what they do is that they will collect funds and they will do bazaar, and provide and send it to APBF, and APBF will give. But these are the things, and maybe my wife can share some few things on that. How?
Yeah, when I heard that he has a plan to visit Nagaland and Mizoram, and then I immediately said I want to go together, because we have been kind of raising funds to support these refugees and then affected people in Myanmar, and I wanted to see these funds, how these things are used in the particular area. And then when I heard that Mizoram Baptist is really supporting these refugees and giving the shelter and then feeding them, even considering about providing the education, and I felt like I really want to see and then share to our own people also, and then encourage them to involve in more of this kind of ministry. Yes.
Kahit untu bahianin Mizoram Baptist Kohhran Reverend Vee Tetseo Thalai President in Elapon Serkawn conference amoron kal photo china and nupui. I think this is your first time, particularly Mizoram, but not his second time, right? Nupui chu Mizoram harvey kadon kalnania. Hey tuntu bahianin Nikuma Khanen Baptist World Alliance annual gathering Birmingham kan General Secretary te kan President te ankal country kami tumkhanin anni tenen hianin ruaman na an siama remcha nga Mizoram alokalin he kan ria dengin Myanmar atangaral tan engem bazat Mizoram an oma tanpuina BCM hianin nasa takinin thokani ti kan ria ke ni Asia Pacific Baptist atang po in enge kan ti vet hei ti ron ena in rong bol na ron en pa kan ti vet hei te ron en tura kal te po kan duani anti ya hei nak tuk zinga hianin trizol refugee camp te po kha pathian in remete chon kan tlawh don ani annu po hi APBF INHMANG ni chialo ma sela organization dang INHMANG ani ma se anni po mi te tanpui thin thau anni awangin helai mun aron kalve enge an mani organization te po in an lo ti ve thei tanpui thei na he Myanmar refugee te Myanmar tangaral tan local te ti enge pui thei na nem ti te ena ten hetilaya Kohhran hote na rong abik takin BCM ina hemi tanpui ngai te tanpui kongak ma kan lak dan angchi an le kan rong bol da sang hetilaya re lo te ma ni sela ron ena ron chimaron kala chumi chu an omna mun le an thona abik takin anupui po in athona organization ate po an lo ti ve theina tur angte le tanpui na enge motalan lo nei ve theina turin rong bol na chete tal po ni sela an lo nei ve theina tur atana hlok puina ni beisein tun tuma hian ni poron tel ve ani kan so ya alomam khop mai thank you so much for sharing all those. And now regarding the participations of Baptists in India, particularly in Northeast. So as we know that you are from Northeast, from Nagaland, so this may be a little bit about your personal opinion I would like to know. According to your opinion and your observations, so what do you rate? What do you say? It is quite satisfactory, or we have so much more to do, so much more to participate, especially under Asia Pacific Baptist Federation? Your opinion, I really want to know that one.
Thank you. You know, the Christianity in the Northeast is not young anymore.
Right.
Some of us have experienced already celebrated 200 years. Nagaland has already celebrated 150 years. We are already on the second generation. Some would even say third generation of Christianity. And for some reasons, God has brought our Baptist family in the Northeast as a very strong Baptist family. And so when I look at that, then I feel that we need to be more strong in our participation in APBF. That is one. The other is that we have another factor. which is that we are a developing country, and that is why I understand that it is not easy. Even to attend a congress, we have to save money.
Right.
We have to, and then we have to apply visa and so many things, right? So it's not easy, but we still do. We still come and we still join, and then India always sends a lot of delegation to APBF congresses. And so it is always very good to see that our involvement has been really, really strong. We can do more than that. We can send more also. We can give more also. But as I said, we have matured enough especially in our faith tradition as Baptists. So my desire is that we are not only participating, we are not only strong in our giving. We need to be stronger in our giving also. But my desire is really that we will raise and lead the rest of our Baptist family, because we have already crossed 150 years, 200 years.
Right.
So that my personal desire, my personal opinion is that we need to do more.
Right.
We can do more, and we have opportunity. We have the potential. Maybe we need to create a little more opportunity for our young people, for our leaders to become more active. The other is that, yes, as Asians, as Northeast people, we are a little shy. We are not aggressive. And then we say, I want to do this, I want to do that. We don't do that. We wait. If you ask them, then they say, okay, right?
We only wait, right?
Yeah. But I want us to become more active, and then I want us to say, I am there. My convention is here. We can do this. Let us know. What do you need? I think that's something that I really want.
That desire. See, the same desire I'm sharing. So my dream is that one day, so from Northeast, Baptist World Alliance will be led from Northeast. And especially the Mizo, even though we are very old, we are old enough, more than 100 years old Christianity, Baptist in Mizoram. But even in Asia level, see, forget about the world level. So the leadership, this is also my desire someday. So kan han soya tu na kanin ni ani ka zona kan zota ni hemi kan Asia Pacific Baptist Federation ani mo kan ni kan tel dan hi kan tel thavia wa group ang te po in kan tel thin ati amaro chu tun ai na sale zol zok yanin in mangila ati ni po in Asia ani emo khovel ani emo heng kan Baptist unaw te he Northeast tin hela Mizoram atang po in ruai tu ate po hianin atia arual ona chi ka ke po ko rual ona lo ni ve voin ni thleng hianin Asia level atak nyal po atong moi lo ni lo sela atak tak ruai tu hi kan Mizo Baptist atang hian kan lom lo Mizoram Baptist atang hian Baptist World Alliance su soi lo chu wang chuanin hemi ko nga po hianin rongbol na vekani kan rongbol na huang kan zauna zel kha ani po arwala lo od lemaya hetia zai pol te kan tira kan zai pet piala ma hianin engeni afong vuan tu akhal tu din huna te po hianin kan din ve zel kha ani po in khanin aron angai dan le abmi thla kha ani chu tiang tak chuanin thlir tu te abik takin BCM atang po hianin heti konga hianin tan kan lak hi angai khop mai ti lai kha an han ta lang lok du ni sela. Since both of you are engaged in ministry, as I already hinted you before, thil zona poi mo de mai han zo ka dua ke mai na ka ngai poi mo ve tak mai ni thin ania he anni NUPAA hi rongbol na in mang ve ve ni. Both of them are engaged in the ministry. So I really want to know that how do you manage, since both the parents are engaged in full-time ministry. Now, as you already share, you have 3 children, those who are maturing. And by God's grace, you are growing your children up very gracefully and of course, that is with the help of God. But apart from that, I believe that you must also give a very strong effort. That's what I believe. So only prayer is not enough. So we need to do. So with that regard, engaging both of you are in a ministry, how do you manage? How do you look after your children? And how do you raise your children? This is the issue we are facing in Mizoram. So starting from Mrs. I, yes.
Starting from me, yes. After we got married, and then after a year, the first son, Debito, was born. And then during the initial year of our marriage, he just started his doctoral degree program also. So time to time, he had to travel to the Philippines to finish his academic. So while doing the ministry, there was a time of absent also. So actually, I had to take care of my son. And then eventually, I started having another two also. But of course, after I graduated the seminary, I had a dream to do this and that. But I had a strong conviction that I had to raise my boys well first. So, and then also, I watched one program which was broadcast by the Japanese national TV. It was a documentary about Muslim children in Indonesia. And then that gave a lot of impact to me because from very early age, they start theological education to the children. And when I watched that movie, the documentary, I felt that if I don't start very early age to raise them as a godly Christian intentionally, and then sooner or later, this Muslim will take over the Christianity, in terms of the population and the influence also. So I always had that mind that I would start teaching my boys about Bible and then prayer and things like that from the early age. So I gave most of the time to raise my boys. So of course, I had some assignment in the church, but I did partly. Time to time I do the preaching ministry, and I do, of course, the Sunday school, but I didn't fully involve because my intention was to really give attention to my boys. And then also, we did a lot of evangelism activities, but we did not left our boys behind. We always took them and do it together. For example, like a street evangelism, giving out the tract to the the people, strangers. We did it together. We pray and then we start giving the tract, and they will come back. Oh, mommy, they received my tract, and very happily they came back. So of course, there was a time that we were busy in the ministry, but we always brought our boys together and show them how we are working, and then slowly they develop the kind of pride to be the son of the pastors. Yes. And then also, when they turn middle school, I start taking them out to the mission field together with me, overseas mission, and gave them the responsibility to conduct some kind of seminar and activity with other group friends. So in a way, I helped them to understand what is the ministry is, and then I also took them as a partner of our ministry. All this through this experience, now really by God's grace, my eldest son wants to involve in a ministry, and then the other two also wants to use their profession in the future for the ministry. Yes. So my third son, he is learning dance. Dance means like a hip hop dance, but his intention is to use that skill to reach out to the overseas children.
That's very interesting.
Yes, I would credit a lot of things to my wife, because when I was still finishing my doctoral degree, as she said, I had to go out and then come in and come out and those kind of things. And so she had to take care of my boys. And you know, boys can be boys, very tough, right? But she really did a very good job in that. There's something that we always wanted to do, is that we wanted our family to be really involved in the ministry together, because they need to learn. They need to learn from parents, and they need to learn how to enjoy the things that we do. Because if you say you do this, you do that, and all those kind of things like that, and they may not enjoy. They may just start to hate what they do. But we wanted to make sure that they enjoy what we do. They also see that we are enjoying serving together, and so that is what we wanted to do. That is very intentional. Then the other is what I would say, especially to Christian families, is that to give time to parents, to children, to sit together and talk. And that is something that I credit to my wife also. That Thursday, we did our best to make Thursday as our dinner table talk. And so we will have our dinner, come, prepare everything together, sit together, eat and talk and talk and talk. Any questions they have, they can ask. Sometimes they have even philosophical questions. They're little, but they have philosophical questions. They're very curious, right? And so we do our best to speak to them and talk to them and then give them those answers. Sometimes we will say, oh, that is a very good question, but we don't know. But this is our opinion. This is what we think. And then so that is how we wanted them to really be involved with us.
Right.
And so nowadays, they love, especially they love talking to mother. Really, they can talk.
Yes.
Yeah, they can talk and talk and talk. They have a lot of questions that they will ask, and then we spend our time together. As they grew up, as she said, we needed them to get involved into the missions together. Again, enjoy things to do together, and then help them to build leadership by going into mission field together. Give them some assignments. It builds their leadership. It builds them confidence. It builds them to see that, oh, I am doing this with my mom, or I'm doing this with my father. And so what I'm doing is they're supporting me, so I can be more confident in doing what I do. So we wanted to build them in that capacity as leaders also. So we wanted to make sure that we help them to grow, we help them to enjoy, we help them to see that the whole aspect of ministry is not only father and mother, or only father and not like that.
Right.
But we as a family, we need to serve God together. So that's something that we continue to do that.
I think that is one very important thing that we need to make a remark even for the viewers. You get involved your children in your ministry. So that is not very common here. So see, when you are taking your ministry as a kind of a family ministry. So I think that we need to, pinpoint. I just take it that that's a very serious and important issue. So getting your children involved in your ministry, so that they slowly, so a kind of that spirit is slowly in building in their life. So then, as you said, that your eldest one is now started thinking that how to involve in the ministry. So katuna kanin ka hanzo tatil poi mo tak may heti han ngai to may chuan an NUPAA in ministry a rongbol na an nei ve a amaro chu ka han soi zau dewa an nu khanin a fa te an tet lai khanin Kohhran in man na khane ma sela a zong in Kohhran enge ni atam thayang beraka afa te tan Kohhran in man na ang che ka chu he ta full time dilovin enga machang a va in mang thosi in Kohhran a mo phurna kha enga machana valen chuak thosi ni ma sela afa te kha da poi mo bera nei si in tin chu ba ka chu na te thil pakha ron soi poi mo em mai chu an no pan lai tanga an no pante ta tanga pathian thu zirtir atia Japanese hey anni chung kwa hi Japan khanin settle an ni zoka a mei chelam pang ti to beng pi hey an nupui te lampanga zo khanin an chung kwa kha an in bang bel zo kan ya chu ta chuanin TV program pakhat hemi Muslim hawina an fate an te atanga an kai suai dan ang chi TV program hi omati chu ka han en khanin karil ro heti zong hian na tho ka Muslim hopo in sako dang hopo in heti ang anti ni chuanin atia kha documentary kan TV program kan ke ma ka fate ka en kol dan tura nasa tak main chona min ron pe a ka fate ka ante atangin pathian thu ka kai suaya ka zirtira ka khila ka thiang tokin van nei thak takin ke theological background nei ka lo ni pathian thu zirna lama nge ni zir ka lo ni nen khanin ka fate ante atang hianin engani pathian thu ka kai suaya ka en kolani ati ka apoi mo khop maya kan fate tin ka adin kom nei ti achiang reng maya nilai thotan ni apiang hi chung ko bi ga chuanin income ho na choi pa income ho na sabi kan nei na huna te kan siama tia ni big nei te khanin tin chumi huna chon muang changin khami hun bi ga chon cho kan ea kan ti tia zone an nei te an zo ta an du apiang an soya ka tiang kan in po takin chung ko ti ho na kan nei thin atia tin an rong bol na huna an hruai thina an no pante nan ni lai po in khatiang pathian thu ring lo mi ten an lo hriat ve theina tura ta na pathian thu nge ni gospel track kan tiang an han sem sia te po khanin kan hruai ve te khanin nuaman ti ema kan rong bol na khanin kan fa te kha atam thayang ber kan tel tir ve a chumi atang chuanin an nu le pa te rong bol na kha an lo ngai sanga rong bol tu fa pastor fa an nia kha nuaman ti ema anin chuang ve zo kan ti an tia fa en kol na po kan heti han ngai tu mai chuanin NUPAA rong bol na in mang si akha he mizorama he kan har sat na ni a nu le pa te rong bol na nasatagin kanin mga kan fate kan sensin kan fate hi kan thla tham ngai reng lova rong bol na hin men apakhat akhoi ma zog hi kan kha an nu kha puvia khanin an nu kha an fate en kol na ko kha chuanin engani credit ka ape via wa kan nu hi thepato pin kan fa the lo en kola PhD kala zirline fa nei to a zirna huna ka kalanga ya chumi hlan zong zong a chuanin pathian thu lo kai hroi tu hi kan nu ni te kha tia alomom khop mai khang anga kha an ni atanga zirtur NUPAA rongbol na in mangsi an fa te puitling em a he pathum an nia kai hruaya khatianga MIPA ve kan dile khala MIPA fa en kol a har sajia chu anni po in an ron sei lang jok thawa a boi thana tam tak khaw mang chuti chung chuan pathian tran puina ero chu ni te me umai na sa takin an be ni te kha hriata rong bol na a anin man rualin an fa te kha rong bol na poi mo tak me ni ti ngai nan thla tham lo ni ti kha an ta langa we are now coming to the end of this interaction our interview and finally I will give you Reverend V, anything you want to share and you want to, challenge the viewers, the church, the members, and after you, your wife also will have a time, to have a kind of sharing or giving a challenge or anything that which you want the viewers to know.
Well, thank you for watching, and I'm glad that I'm part of this program tonight. Mizoram is a vibrant state. Mizo people are vibrant people, and that's something that I've come to know. And Mizo people will be able to give so much to the world outside, and I really, really want your people to become more involved in international ministries. Step out from where we are. English, you don't have problem at all. Mizoram, of course, within Mizoram, you speak Mizo, and so that is why your communication is very easy with you all. But English, you don't have any problem. English is spoken all over the world outside, and so I would encourage each one of you, if you are thinking that I don't know what to do with my life, you have a lot of things that you can do with your life. You can be an English teacher outside the world. You can go for short-term missions. You can volunteer in some kind of overseas missions. You can even join her mission group, going to Cambodia, and then be part of the mission group and then do something. Mizoram has been just lovely, and we would love to come back.
Thank you.
Yes. After which we reached to Aizawl and then driving up to here, Long Lake. It took about 6 hours driving.
Right.
And I was all the way, I was so amazed with the beauty of the natures. And then after I reached here, and then again, I was so amazed with the beauty of the people. And Mizo people are so wonderful, so heartwarming. And then, but I also, at the same time, I felt that many people should know about you all, and then how you live, and taking care of the environment so nicely, neatly, and then also how you do the church ministry also. So as he said, I really wish that Mizo people will go beyond the boundary and then be more global citizen, and then worldwide leaders, and then give the impact to the Asians and especially to Japanese also. Yes.
Khan soya puvi apoin na China soi thau kha ania mizote hi theina tam takin ne ya amaro chu in theina hi namdang he ta khovel thria ta ron pho chuak teu Mizoram atangin ron chuak ula ministry hi tamlu tukani hemi Asia Pacific Baptist huam chunga ringot poin ti tur tam takoma mi in tum phot chon in du phot chon in rongbol na hi tamlu tukani helai Mizoram pel hian in ron chuak teu ati ngoi min cha ngoi ya in rongbol na in pek na te pathian in riat na te in Kohhran kalphung hrim athasia henga nga hi namdang te ramdanga ron pudar te wati ni chumi tho chu an nu po khanin ron soi ni ya he tun chum hi atira kan soyang khanin Mizoram an ron an nu page of a kadon kalna ani ya tiang chuanin helaya aizola tanga lunglei an ron pan na konga mun ma kan en kol dan te hemi kan nge ni leilung thing le mau kan han hum haldan ang chi te po thil hei Japan ramatang ron kalania Japan ramatang ron kal si ka ariru takte po he soi ni vein ka ria in muan duama a fire a fil fire a moya in ram leilung hausakna hetila in thing le mau te po in en kol thale in ka ria atia tiang chonin aram mai ba ka hela Serkawn kan ron thlenga Kohhran hote nen in pol hon te kan han ne ya min lo lom dan in thiam dan te mi min lo lom thiam dan zong ate hi atia af min fak mol mola chuti rual chuanin an pa ang thau khan ani ni po in heng tianga in je thatak te in rong bol na in pek na thuk tak ang chi ate hi khongai takin ron luan chua pui te u nge ni Mizoram po na khovel mun dang khovel ram dang nam dang te zinga hianin ron luan chua pui te u ati ni finally since you are from Japan, so a little bit about churches. The particular place you are settling is the name of the place, Okinawa. So the condition of the church there, and how you organize the church. That will be the final interaction. Yes.
Well, I came from Okinawa, which is the small island, apart from Tokyo. 3 hours flight from Tokyo. Actually, Okinawa is closer to Taiwan. And then Okinawa's culture is strongly influenced by China because we were ethnically different group from mainland Japanese. So actually we consider as Okinawan. Anyway, in our convention we have about 30 churches, and then the average size of the church is like 30 to 40 members. So altogether in our convention, we are less than 2,000 membership still. And then in Japan, the Christianity is only 0.8%. I mean, the evangelical Christians. So if you have like a 1,000 student in a school, you will find only 2 or 3, something like that. Christians, very minority.
Very challenging.
Yes. And then we have a cultural boundaries, and then also social challenge, and then the other pressures from the family. So becoming Christian is very difficult. So the church growth also very slow. And plus, now Japan is facing a hyper-aging stage. So entire society also, the average age is becoming up and up. And then this population ratio also, above 60 is more than below 30. Yes, this, opposite pyramid types. So it's affecting the church also. Means we have less Sunday school students. And even if we have Sunday school students, like elementary kids, the background is from the non-Christian family. So the church tends to become very small, and then the pastors also becoming now older, and then the average age of the pastors will reach to 70. So we are facing very challenging situation right now. So to revive the church, we believe that we need a missionary, but not from the West. We need Asian missionaries, because in Japan, the Christianity is blended with the American culture, or white people's religion. And so, well, people accept, but they said, this is not ours, or something like that. But I always tell him that if we bring missionaries from Asia and with the similar faces, and then eating habit also the similar, and then people's mindset will slowly change. Yes. So to revive the Japanese churches, we don't have, I think, strength with our own. We need help. We need a missionary, and then we need Asian missionaries, especially maybe from Mizra. Yes.
Yes. Coming from big church, like take for example Nagaland. I grew up in a church which is like 1,500, 2,000, 3,000 members, right? And so when I moved to Japan, and I began to see the real life of Christians in Japan. And for sure, God had a reason for me to go to Japan and then find a lady who is from Japan, and then to go and serve there. I'm sure God had His own plan there. So when I went and saw the state of the churches there, Christians were really praying for revival to come in Japan. Just very few people kneeling down and crying and praying. And so that really, really broke my heart in a sense that God brought me to show this. And so I ended up saying, Lord, I'm willing to serve wherever you lead me. And so I ended up in Japan. It has been quite a challenge. There was a time that I was sharing a track to one guy who was sitting in a park, and then he was probably around 60. So when I gave him a track, I said, "Hey uncle, I want to share a Christian track with you." And then he took it, and then they say, "Oh, you are the supporter of Bush." During that time, there was Iraq war, right?
George Bush.
Yeah, you are a supporter of Bush. You are evil. You are going and attacking people and then killing people like that. And then this is the work of Christians, and I don't like it. I hate it. And then how come you follow this kind of people? And so I said, I listened to him, and then later on I said, "Uncle, I am from India." And he was shocked. India? India people are Hindu. How come you are Christian? So I said, "See, uncle, not all people support white people. Not all people support Bush. Just like not every person from India are Hindus. We are tribal people. We have a lot of Christians there. We have a lot of churches there." And so that was the situation of Christianity. People don't know, and then there's some kind of enmity, or some people don't like Christians there. And so the challenge was a lot. We still face those kind of challenges, but the need is great. People are, in a way, of course, lost. And there are some people who are always, seeking. And you will still find people, even though it is just a minority, and you will find even small pockets of people who are still interested in Christianity. And I remember we brought our young people, and then we were sharing, giving tracts, and then we were doing a bit of an interview to young people who said, do you have some minute to talk to us? We want to ask you a few questions. And then they stop and they say, have you ever been to church? Some say, yeah, when I was a little kid, I used to go to church during the Christmas, and then I received some candies and all those kind of things. And so, but do you know who is Jesus? Oh, Jesus, he's German, right? He's from Britain, right? He's American, right? It's like that. So I was listening, and then my wife was explaining, Jesus is from Nazareth. Jesus is a Jew. Jesus is actually an Asian. Then they get so surprised. Really? I never knew that. So we are like that.
Yeah.
So the need is great. That is a situation that we live in Japan even now. So we need more young people from the Northeast. The Northeast needs to go out.
Right. See, the same situation I used to face back in Arunachal when we were in Arunachal Pradesh. They are tribals. So seeing tribals spreading the gospel, at first they were so really amazed. So according to their understanding, Christianity is religion of the white and the Western. So see, that is, the challenge we used to face. So the same thing there in Japan. So yeah, I can feel that how Japanese people look at or see and receive Christianity as a religion of the white. So, but yes, if we can send missionaries from Asian faiths, Asian states, with all those, and I think that may be more effective. So, and also in receiving the gospel. So it's really interesting to hear all those things. Katu nakanin Japan ramdin muntlang pui anom naka Okinawa ni anika ani hi Taiwan nai te ani Chinese influence atam te anti an culture le thila te po khan tin Christian chungcha Christianity Kohhran din hun chungcha nga po an latlem hlem ya school ang chia te po za apani ang vela hi Christian zirlain niang te anti ya tin til har sanna timayang har sanna ang te point ka soi thenga Japan rama tuna until to me ka chu kum upa lampangan tamjok em an population a khanin tong moi lo ni lo sela an dam rei sia fanai taman du box si lawa chu wang chuanin rong bol na tur latin thalai te zinga no pangjok zinga rong bol an ni ho wa kha Christian han cher chu zel tur po in no panglam ain kum upalam pangan tam tlata wangin Japan rama ngani Christian na le ko than trim apo kha thang bong em ya chuti rual chuanin Christianity trim hi an ni chuanin khothang mingo ho sa khuana hianin an lapom nge driawa chu wang chuanin an beise na kha an han soya hemi Asia mi nge tin henglai north east a keni mi zo te po khilai muna Japan rama khenin missionary in han kalta ila kan mel landana in ang boxia kan ei du zong te kan khosak phung te engamo chena lawin zula lawam tlat lai te hianin missionary ya Asia ram atang hianin ram dang atang hianin heng India ram north east India tang te point missionary hi tam takikal theila chu Kohhran apung nge ang ke mani ringo ta hi chonin kan in oi nung zo manglawin ni an tia kha thlir tu te tong trai na po Japan rama Kohhran tan Japan rama Christian kan unaw te tan khanin tong trai ta ila engani thanlen na zel tura nasata ka tong trai pu yen ngai ni ti kha kan thei ome. Thank you so much for your time, and that's it for this time, and let us hope that someday somewhere we may also have this time of kind of interactions. And it's really impressive to hear all your ministries and your children. We wish you all the best and to be more purposeful, successful and fruitful for your ministry. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for giving your time. Thank you.